Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on the Great Reset. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about the Great Reset. We'll talk about crypto. I wanted to do this video because there's so much talk about blackouts and cyber attacks right now. And a lot of people think that this is the Great Reset happening in real time. So let's take a look. World Economic Forum founder Klaus Schwab admitting that a black swan event is on the horizon. Take a listen to this.
And the last factor I want to mention is resilience, the capability to bounce back, because there will be certainly what we call the black swans, the unpleasant surprises which will come in our way.
So, in other words, we're going to see endless confusion. And he wants to create that confusion, so you're not paying attention to what's really going on. And the black swan events that he talks about are cyber attacks and violence throughout the world. But you know, I said this in the past, this old prick is not going to be around. And we're all going to be living under the slave system that he's trying to create through CBDCs and digital IDs. So the sun unleashes monster X-class solar flare, most powerful since 2017. Today's flare caused a deep shortwave radio blackout over the Americas, Space Weather's website wrote. Now, is this the sun or is it something else that is man-made? Because, you know, we see these articles all the time. We've seen them in the past, yet it really wasn't that disruptive. And who wants the blackout to happen? This is all over X. This is supposed to happen today. And you know, me personally, I don't think we're going to see a blackout. In fact, we see these days pop up time and time again. And then the day gets here, nothing happens. Then all of a sudden, for the next 2 weeks, you see the blackout was delayed. It's going to happen on this day now. It's all the build-up hype and views. Barack Obama was just heavily involved in pushing a movie about a technological blackout that no one could avoid, and a subsequent coup that pushed disinformation onto the people after taking control of said technology. Does that sound like a storm-like setting to you? Is Obama trying to get ahead of something? Barack Obama played a key role in Netflix's latest Leave the World Behind movie and influenced the most critical parts of the film. I have not seen this movie yet. I am so amped up about seeing it because most of you keep saying, Rich, did you watch that movie yet? I have not had time. I'm playing catch up with a lot of work, but the second I get time to watch this movie, I am watching it. And I'll talk more about it in a video. I might make a whole video around it if it's that good, like people are saying. The World Economic Forum has previously warned us of an incoming cyber attack. So it's not a coincidence that the CCP military hackers are prepared to shut down American infrastructure. You know, I've been looking at this, and I thought, well, maybe this is coming from China. But then other people said, how do you know it's not just the U.S. government causing all this disruption, getting us prepared for something much bigger? Because they're always quick to blame China or Russia or someone else. But we already know that our own government is pushing for the Great Reset. Looks like the World Economic Forum are telling us what's about to happen next. What happens when the internet shuts down? Not if the internet shuts down, but when. And I keep seeing people saying, the worst thing that could happen is the internet goes down. Oh, no. It could get much worse. Because electricity is huge. If our power grid was to go down, or our water system, there's far bigger things on this planet that can go down and have a much bigger impact than just the internet. What if our leaders know exactly what they're doing? World leaders are not all incompetent. They're committing treason. You know that, right? One thing I always thought, I see Biden bumbling all over, the mainstream media news almost on a daily basis whenever he's talking. I sometimes question if he's just that dumb or if he's playing dumb and knows exactly what he's causing all around this country. Because you walk into any major city right now, you better be packing a gun. And, crime is absolutely raging in a lot of our cities. You see the videos all over X all day long. But it goes beyond just that. Look at our economy. It's always getting worse. They're crushing the middle class. And that's why I'm an XRP investor. Because I want to get rich from this fourth industrial revolution. Why the indicators are bad, but the data is good. This article from FX Hedgers explains it. Take a few minutes to read it. It's worth it. There are countless indicators pointing to recession in early 2024, but most economists are now completely ignoring them. And I think they're ignoring them on purpose. Whenever the Fed talks or the Treasury talks, they both say the same thing. Everything's safe. Everything's looking better. Start trusting the banks again. But we know it's much worse because we are the victims of it. We're the ones going to the store and buying things at much higher prices. We're the ones paying much higher prices at restaurants. We're the ones paying much higher prices for rent and mortgages. Most people are already priced out of a house. Homeownership is becoming a thing of the past. Prices are out of control. Private equity firms now own hundreds of thousands of single-family homes. This is the Great Reset in action. You will own nothing and be happy. And I watched this happen. All of you watched it happen as well. And something has to break, whether it's the housing market, or it's the car market, or it's the US dollar plummeting in value. Something's got to give. Because once one thing breaks, and it could even be the banks, it's all going to domino into something else. And again, the banks are on very shaky ground. And people no longer could get financing for certain things now. And even their numbers are lies as well. They come out with these numbers, and they're absolutely not true. The same thing's going on with inflation. The same thing's going on when they talk about recession. A lot of people think we're going to see another depression. Mass illegal immigration plus vax mandated equals digital ID. Big Brother is always watching every email, every text, every ship post, all social media, all your web searches, even your phone calls and Zoom meetings, forever. Mass illegal immigration that's happening right now. I always thought, they printed all this money and inflation is raging. But if you start spending that money and getting those dollars moving, it can bring inflation down. I thought that was one part of mass illegal immigration, but that's just one of my theories. But, that is what it's going to lead to. It's going to lead to a digital ID, one world citizen. And that's happening by design as well. Speaking at the UN World Economic Forum, young global leader and former Prime Minister of New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern, declares free speech a weapon of war. Take a listen to this nonsense right here.
This week we launched an initiative alongside companies and non-profits to help improve research and understanding of how a person's online experiences are curated by automated processes. This will also be important in understanding more about mis- and disinformation online, a challenge that we must, as leaders, address. As leaders, we're rightly concerned that even the most light-touch approaches to disinformation could be misinterpreted as being hostile to the values of free speech that we value so highly.
You know why they value free speech so much? because they want to get their agenda out there. They tell you exactly what they're planning for us, but they don't want us talking about it. They don't want us waking up other people to what's really going on around them. We no longer need elections because we already know what the results will be. I fear it's probably too late to stop the Great Reset. Take a listen to this.
But then the next step could be to go into a prescriptive mode, which means you do not even have to have elections anymore because you can already predict, and afterwards you can say, why do we need elections? Because we know what the result.
They already know what the results are going to be of the elections. And a lot of people are already questioning the 2024 election. I'm hoping things all go right. And I hope we get an administration change because this world needs change. This country needs change. We need people that want innovation to grow and push forward in this country. We want crypto to push ahead in this country. We want to see the cities get back to normal once again. You know, and we also, as the middle class, want to stop paying for everybody else. You know, I see people on a daily basis that are business owners that are struggling, that are ready to close their doors. And they're cashing out whatever they got left just to keep the doors open most of the time. And, you know, America is not what it used to be. And all you have to do is take a good look around and you could see that for yourself. But, you know, when they talk like this, you got to question the elections. I mean, and then when you do question the elections, people right away say, what, are you crazy? There's no way that they're going to rig the elections. There's no way that the elections are already going to be, you know, known the results before it even happens. But that's exactly what he's talking about right there. Whitney Webb is spot on per usual about the banks and the World Economic Forum, scheming to implode the global financial system to complete their great reset agenda. Financial institutions made up 26% of the represented organizations in the 2020 Cyber Polygon exercise, with IT at 15%, government agencies at 14%, healthcare at 6%, education at 6%, telecom at 5%. They can't have another 2008 without everyone knowing the banks and governments are responsible. So they need to manufacture Patsy with some state-sponsored hackers to blame, or even better, with a rogue AI that has no discernible creator that lives on the internet, forcing governments across the world to implement a new digital ID system to ensure it doesn't happen again, and all users of the internet are traceable and verifiable. I don't know what any of us can do about this agenda at this point. You know, we're going to see the rise of CBDCs. We're going to see the rise of digital IDs as well. But none of this can happen without the technology that we have now. Think about it. Blockchain is absolutely game-changing. And that's why I'm an XRP investor, because XRP is going to be the one cryptocurrency that moves all the other currencies around the world. And at the same time, right now, every single currency is pushing towards digital. And XRP is going to be in the middle as that trust layer. And a lot of us are going to get very rich off of this fourth industrial revolution. But this is the same reason that I try to get more and more people into crypto before it's too late. I try to show them exactly what they have planned for us. And, you know, if you're not invested in crypto and you don't get rich during this fourth industrial revolution, I think you're going to end up on the UBI, the Universal Basic Income. Most of the jobs are going to disappear very fast. Most people are not even going to see that coming. And before you know it, it's all going to happen like an overnight event. A reminder of what to expect in the near future. So, New World Order, UN Agenda 21 to 2030 mission goals. One world government. We already see them pushing for that. Same reason the World Economic Forum is getting inside of the governments all around the world right now. One world cashless currency. You know, I keep seeing more and more talk about one global CBDC, one world central bank, one world military, the end of national sovereignty, the end of all privately owned property, the end of the family union, depopulation, control of population growth and population density. It's easier to control a smaller population than it is to control a much bigger population. Mandatory multiple vaccines, UBI. UBI is not good, and people are pushing it all over X on a daily basis. I can't wait until they bring out UBI. I'm no longer going to work. Wait until they realize they can no longer save money. They can no longer work or open a business, because businesses run on liquidity as well. And if it disappears, how can you ever keep a business up and running? Microchip society for purchasing, travel, tracking, and control. I am never getting that chip. Implementation of World Social Credit System. That's coming as well. They're always talking about freedom of speech. They want to make sure that you're falling in line with everything that they're telling you. Trillions of appliances hooked into the 5G monitoring system. Internet of Things. You ever take notice if you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, all the latest appliances want to be connected to the internet. It works better if you connect it to the internet. We want to be able to come in and fix things if anything goes wrong. Government-raised children. Government-owned and controlled schools, colleges, universities. You know, even the metaverse, the World Economic Forum wants to be the government inside of the metaverse. The end of private transportation, owning cars. You still see them pushing EVs, even today. And the prices of vintage cars in the future are going to be astronomical when people want to get away from the computers that are built into today's cars. All business owned by government, corporations, the restriction of non-essential air travel, human beings concentrated in the human settlement zones, cities, 15-minute cities, which they're also already starting to build out around the world now. The end of irrigation, the end of private farms and grazing livestock, the end of single-family homes. They're going to want to build pods in the future because it's going to be more economical. Restricted land use that serves human needs, the ban of natural non-synthetic drugs and natural neuropathic medicine, the end of fossil fuels. I just did a video on XRP recently where they're already talking about the end of fossil fuels. The problem with that is they don't have an alternative, and I don't think an alternative is that close, not by 2030. You know, they want to put solar panels on your house. The second they shut down the power plant, guess what? The power is going to end up going out at some point. We already seen that happen in California. But you know, this is the agenda that they want to hit by 2030. And they're fast tracking it. Everybody always says you're early to crypto, but I don't think the wait's going to be as long as you think. I think we're going to start to see the rise of certain cryptocurrencies. The prices are going to absolutely start to pop off. XRP is going to be one of those cryptocurrencies. And that's why I said, now's the time you hold on to it for dear life. And I really think they're trying to get you out of crypto as well. Look at all the scams there are today, even all over YouTube now around XRP. I think they want to shake you out because XRP will be your escape in the future. And they don't think you're worthy enough to be holding this cryptocurrency. Well, we'll all have to see how this all plays out. The good thing is there's a lot of politicians here in the United States pushing back against this right now. Hopefully, it's not just words. Hopefully, we get to see some action. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.